Today, we're going to talk about a huge shift in how we think about our own bodies. We're going to challenge that old idea that we're just biological machines and really dive into the incredible, scientifically proven link between what we think and how we feel physically. So let me start by asking you this. If you think of your body as this amazing, complex vehicle that gets you through life, who's actually in the driver's seat? Think about it. To really get where we're going, we first have to understand where we've been. For a long, long time, the main view in medicine was pretty straightforward. Very simple, very mechanical. So let's unpack this old blueprint. The body was basically seen as a big collection of parts. If you got sick, well, that just meant one of the parts broke down. An arthritic joint was kind of like a tire that's gone bald. The solution was simple. Just try to fix or replace the broken part. Now, this whole mechanical view was propped up by two main ideas. First, you've got materialism. That's the belief that if you can't see it, touch it, or measure it physically, it can't be the real cause of the problem. That pretty much left things like consciousness and the mind out in the cold. And second, there's reductionism, the idea that to understand a big, complex system, all you have to do is take it apart and study the tiniest little pieces. But, sometimes you miss the big picture when you do that. So if we're all just a bunch of physical parts working together, what got left out of the equation? What's the essential piece of the puzzle that was just completely ignored? And that brings us to a huge breakthrough, the discovery of a kind of secret language, a system of messengers that finally gave us a physical, tangible link between what happens in our minds and what happens in our bodies. And here they are, neuropeptides. You can think of these as the molecules of emotion. They're literally the chemical form of our thoughts and feelings. When you have a thought, your brain pumps out these tiny peptides, and they travel all through your body, plugging into your cells and delivering a message, like tiny little couriers. This discovery was absolutely revolutionary. Scientists started finding these exact same messenger molecules on our immune cells. This meant our immune system wasn't just some dumb army fighting off invaders. It was intelligent. It was actively listening in on our mental state. It got this amazing nickname, a floating brain. I mean, the implications of this are just staggering. That gut feeling you have, it's real. That feeling of heartache, that's real too. Your organs aren't just dumb tissue. They are part of this huge information network. Every single one of your cells is basically eavesdropping on your thoughts. But here's the kicker. It's listening to two different minds. There's your conscious mind with all your hopes and dreams, but then there's your subconscious, the autopilot. And that's running on programs you downloaded before you were even 7 years old. If those programs are negative or self-sabotaging, well, those are the messages your body is getting, no matter what you consciously want. Now, this chemical link was just the start, but it raises a bigger question. If thoughts create chemicals, what exactly is a thought made of? To answer that, we have to go even deeper, from the world of chemistry to the very nature of reality itself. It's a real quantum leap in understanding who we really are. Okay, so let's just recap the old way of thinking. It said that at our core, we are physical machines, and things like thoughts, feelings, consciousness, well, they were just kind of a lucky accident, a side effect of all our complicated wiring. But the new paradigm, it flips that script completely on its head. It suggests that fundamentally, we are consciousness. We're fields of energy and information that have figured out how to create and organize matter into this physical body we live in. The mind isn't just a ghost in the machine. The mind is the architect of the machine. And look, this isn't just some wild philosophy. This stuff is rooted in the strange and wonderful world of quantum physics. Pioneers like Schrödinger suggested that at the most basic level of reality, the idea that we're all separate is just an illusion, that we all come from a common source, a single unified mind. So how does a non-physical thought actually change our physical biology? It happens through something we can call a quantum event. This is the moment, the tipping point where an intention, a thought, a belief, and especially one of those deep subconscious programs crosses over from just being energy and turns into a real physical thing in your body. All right, so all this theory is fascinating, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's talk about a story that shows just how this power can show up as incredible, profound healing. So I want you to meet Chitra. She had a terminal diagnosis. The whole body is a machine playbook, well, it had run out of pages for her. All the tools designed to attack the disease, like chemotherapy, had failed, and she was basically left with no other conventional options. But then, her doctor suggested something totally different, something radical. Instead of attacking the cancer, the new plan was to change the entire environment inside her body where the cancer was living. The prescription wasn't another drug. It was simply to guide her body into a state of deep, profound rest. And then something really curious happened. Chicher got a really high fever. Now, normally medicine tries to suppress that, right? But in her case, it was like her body was burning something off. After the fever broke, her doctors were puzzled and decided, hey, let's just order some new x-rays and see what's going on. And the results were just unbelievable. The phone call her husband made says it all. Just total joy and confusion. The cancer was gone. Poof. The x-rays were totally clear. So what happened? There was no magic cure. The treatment of deep rest just created the right conditions for a quantum event to happen. A deep shift in her own consciousness, her own being, actually rewrote her physical body. And even her doctor knew it. He told her straight up, no, Chitra, you did it. So this brings us to a really powerful conclusion. If our minds can create changes this profound, what does that mean for us, just living our day-to-day lives? This right here might be the most important takeaway of all. Your body is a living, breathing record of your past thoughts. It's constantly being shaped by your conscious beliefs, sure, but more importantly, by those subconscious programs running in the background. Your state of mind today is literally the blueprint for the body you're going to live in tomorrow. And that is not an exaggeration. Through that whole neuropeptide network, every single one of your 50 trillion cells has its ear to the ground, listening to your inner chatter. And they don't just hear your hopes. They hear your subconscious fears, your doubts, your limiting beliefs, and they respond to those just as strongly. The old model made us feel like we were just passengers, victims of our own biology and a machine we couldn't really control. But this new science, it hands the blueprints right back to us. It shows us that we're the architects. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.